88 years of age, celebrated. Celebrated because she raised 40 children. Foster mom. All right, put up the picture full mass. Fascinating human being. In Maryland, Montgomery County honors Emma Patterson, 88-year-old foster mom who raised over 40 children. She is now retiring. Patterson is what could be called a super foster mom. She started taking children in the early 1980s. Over the past 4 decades, she raised more than 40 foster children. It began when her biological children started bringing home friends who needed food or a place to stay. Quote, "I was raised in a home where I was just loved and adored by my parents," Patterson said. So for a child to experience that, not to have someone to love you and care for you and nurture you, I just felt awful. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Madison Scott was 5 months old when she came to Patterson's home. She now plays basketball at the University of Mississippi. Quote, "I wouldn't be here without Nana," Scott said. "She took my mom in and took me in, treated us like we were her own. She loved us. She cared for us. She's done everything," end quote. It was a great experience for Patterson's birth children and grandchildren too, seeing all the hugs and tears at a celebration for Emma Patterson. The enormous impact the foster mom had on the lives of others in Montgomery County is obvious. Montgomery County has more than 300 kids in care and about 115 foster families. More fosters are needed. To help, you can reach out to Child Welfare Services at 240-770-1664. Let's put up this amazing woman again. I want to say thank you. Thank you to Miss Emma Patterson. And thank you to everyone who decides to take in a child that they did not biologically birth. I want to say thank you to Rickey Smiley, who does the exact same thing. I want to say thank you to the foster parents that took me in when nobody else would. I'm thankful for people like you. And I wanted to do this segment with you, dear brother, because as soon as I saw this story, I thought about the Black men who do the same. And you are one of them. I've taken in children who are not biologically mine because somebody took me in. I have seen you take in children and take care of children that are not biologically yours while taking care of the ones that are. And so I celebrate all of you all, dear brother. I celebrate Miss Patterson. I celebrate you.
Yeah, Dr. Richey, I really appreciate that. Sometimes God allow us to go through things and work through us. Sometimes God allowed me to experience losing a father and burying my father to make sure that I was a father to the fatherless. You understand? And it's so important that we get outside of the box and love on somebody and give somebody a chance. You know, I feel like God protected me. If it was not for a coach, a deacon, a pastor, a Sunday school teacher, certain men, uncles that took me in and cared for me, I would not be the man that I am. And it's time for me to get back, because I know what it feels like to grow up without a father. And to every child that and we have to also understand, Dr. Richard, it's a controversial part. We can do a whole show on this. Everybody is not going to appreciate it. But man, if you take on 20 kids, 3 of them going to come back and they're going to smile at you and they're going to say thank you and they're going to make you proud. And it's worth those 3. It's a lot of disappointment that comes with some of this stuff. It ain't just easy taking people in, because there's jealousy, there's people undermining the process and what you're trying to accomplish with the kids, all of that. But man, when you see them walk across that stage and just watching them just become something, and you had everything that had something and a lot to do with it. Yeah. When you sit down at dinner like I did last night with a nephew and a niece that I took in down here in South Florida, and they pay for the food and they look at you and say, "Hey, we just really appreciate you." And the niece was a kid that lived upstairs that didn't have a dad and don't have no family but us. And the nephew is one that I took in that was on my reality show, and they both are doing well and making money and took me out to dinner yesterday. And those are the things. That's rich, not the dollar amount, but that's rich, and that brings me so much joy. So I just thank God for people like Miss Emma. I thank God for people like yourself and everybody that makes sacrifices, taking in people, because it's not easy. It's cute. It's cute at first, but when they get 15, 16, 17, you're gonna go through some stuff, and you're gonna make some personal sacrifices, some heartache and heartbreak to get to your goal. So we just thank God for everybody that step outside of the box to care about somebody else, because it's not about you.
That's right. So well
that's what
said.
It's all about. It's not all about you. Thank you for letting me say that.
Absolutely, man. So well said, brother. I said something on my radio show this morning about your pain is where your light is. And I've noticed that everything that I've overcome in pain, I've become a light to somebody who's experiencing that same pain. If I was never homeless, I couldn't have light for the unsheltered. If I was never in foster care, I could not have light for those who are in foster care the same way. And if I never experienced gang life, I may not have the same light for those who are currently in gang life. And so your pain is where your light is.